Daughter's 2000 Mustang V6. We're having code P1518, which is actually a intake manifold mechanical failure due to this solenoid. What this solenoid does is when we get high RPMs, it opens up additional baffles in your intake and allows more airflow to the engine at higher RPMs. Now what happens is these little clips right here, the plastic clips wear out, and this thing needs to be able to operate back and forth during RPMs. So what's happened is this particular one, this retaining clip it's just wore out. It's plastic and they need to be replaced eventually. So unfortunately you have to take the entire intake manifold off, but here is the bars just hanging down loose. It attaches right here. You're not going to be able to see it on video very well, to a little mechanical lever that can open up, that can rotate back and forth right here at the right behind the corner of the fuel rail. It's almost directly below my finger, and it's just a small metal clip that allows a metal piece that allows it to turn. This is going to be an easy fix. I'm just going to replace the clips and get this thing function cleaned up and put back together. That's P1518. It's a pretty easy fix, but you do have to take off the manifold to do that. I might post an additional video on how to do the intake manifold, but it was really fairly easy. All the bolts on it were, I had 7mm bolts here on the coil pack, and all the other bolts were 8mm. Of course, I already had a cold air intake on this, but it's pretty straightforward. Whenever you're taking apart these, it's good, helpful to have some kind of a magnetic tool holder, in place while you're doing this, so you don't lose any screws. But like I say, pretty easy fix because of that. And you can see right there on the edge, that clip. I might be able to see a little bit better from here, but I can't get my hand back there. Yeah, can't quite see the mechanical piece of it. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, that's the little mechanical piece. So that operates. Oh, I don't know if you can see inside here. Yeah, you can. See these baffles open up during high RPM. You have your main baffle, and then you have your secondary baffles that only open up during higher RPMs. That's what the smaller rounder pieces are. So you can see this opens up and operates these baffles in here. So they say mechanical failure, we'll get this thing fixed pretty easily, and just by replacing the clip. Then I'll clean off these manifold surface right here just to make sure you don't have any debris. I've got a replacement gasket already. This is the used one. I could tell nobody's been in here because nobody put RTV gasket sealer on it, because you never want to do that. You just want to put the clean gasket on when you replace it, and then look up the manufacturer torque specifications for torquing down the bolts. There's 4, 8, 12 main bolts that you'll have to have the torque specification, and there is a tightening procedure so that you can follow the pattern that they recommend for torquing down those bolts when you put the manifold back on. But just when you put your manifold back on, make sure all of this is cleaned off really well. use a shop vac or something to clean up the debris, so you don't get debris going into your cylinders, into your cylinder chambers, and do that on both ends. Just make sure it's all clean, follow torque spec, and this should be a fairly easy job if you're getting the same code. Thanks.